It is what it is. Hello. Good evening. My name is Sandra, and welcome to my channel From Lack to Legacy. On this channel, we're all things money, investing, and mindset. In particular, how to go from a scarcity mindset to a mindset of abundance. If this sounds like something that you are interested in, please stay. You have found your people. If this is your first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. You know what to do. Hit all the little buttons down below, like, subscribe, share, do all of those things. All of those things help the YouTube algorithm connect us with other women who are interested in the same things that we're interested in, which is all things money, investing, and mindset. If you have been here before, welcome back, family. We got so much to talk about. Oh my God. First of all, let me just start with this, y'all. I just rolled in on a plane last night. So, yes, these is jet lag eyeballs, but we're going to make it through. I have great, great, great guests this morning. Well, it's morning for me, it's evening for you all. But I want to welcome to our second episode of Money After Dark. Four wonderful money mavens that you all, if you don't know, you should know. We're also waiting for Nequosha Anderson. She's an attorney who's going to talk with us this evening about intellectual property and how to secure your IP. So if you're a new creator, we're waiting. We're excited to have her join the stream. She's in Florida, so she will just pop in, and when she comes in, we'll let her do her introduction. But without further ado, I'm going to start with my dear friend, Terry Banks. Terry is in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, doing the doggone thing. When I tell y'all she's doing the thing, hey, Shauna. Shauna was with us in Puerto Vallarta. Shauna, I'm going back. You better get your ticket. I'm telling you now. So we have Terry Banks. Terry is an investor, a financial coach, and educator, and she also talks about how to secure your financial future through real estate. So I'm excited to let Terry introduce herself, but I'll just introduce all the panel and then we'll come back. We also have Tamika Flowers, who is the founder of Gutsy Girl. She's also a financial coach, and Tamika has a story to tell. When I tell you all, she has done the work. Tamika has done the work. I won't tell too much of her story, but I'm just going to put this out there. Tamika did away with over $80,000 worth of debt. That's a bad sister right there. I ain't got nothing else to say about that. I need to know the secret to how you did all of that. I need to know the secret sauce. And then finally, we have Zakia. Oh, Zakia Simmons Earl, right? Did I get it right, Zakia? That's my sister too. All of us have kind of connected through Exodus and just knowing one another from the field of money. And so, if you're an Exodus sister, you are with your family. Zakia is like all things cybersecurity. I know I need to be in this chat. So I'm telling you, I got some real issues. So we're gonna talk off camera. I got some stuff I know I need to deal with. So she does more than cybersecurity, but I'll let them all get into it. So we'll start with Terry. Terry, can you just fill us in what you're doing, what you've been up to, and how can people get in touch with you? So I need all your social media contacts too.
All right. So I just want to say thank you to Sandra for having me. Uh, I am the founder of Bank On It Financial Coaching, and I am also very soon to be the co-proprietor of Casa Plitas, which is a 9-unit vacation rental property in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And Casa Polita is really it's a dream come true, and it's a result of me and my wife put together, but result of us following the same dream inspired financial freedom principles and concepts that I share with my financial coaching clients. So, in essence, I get high off my own supply, right? And I've known that I've been interested in real estate for a long time, but I didn't always know that it was real estate that was going to scratch the itch for me. I was interested in architecture before I really knew what architecture was, but I had that math teacher that that traumatized me. Looking at college majors, architecture needs math. I'm like, nope, I'm out the game. So cycle back through and I realized there's other ways to be involved in it. I can have input on the building without being responsible for all of the math in the building, for all of the serious math. So that is that's basically uh, me in a nutshell.
Talk about a full circle moment. Now,
Yeah,
as a teacher, I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean you didn't like math? Wait a minute, you didn't have the right teacher.
I know
I
I
dealt
didn't.
with that
I
all
absolutely
the
didn't.
time. Yeah, math anxiety is so common. It is so common. And so I'm not surprised to hear it. But there are ways around that. I dealt with that a lot. I don't have math anxiety, but I have tech anxiety. So I totally get it. I know you avoid those things that you feel anxious about. But Terry, thank you first of all for agreeing to come and share all your expertise with us.
Yes.
Y'all drop your questions in the chat. If you have questions about how to break into the game with commercial real estate. Terry, do you do commercial real estate?
Uh, no, it's residential. I mean, this would
So
be considered commercial if it was in the U.S., but
yeah, because yeah, that multi-unit building. Just so you all know, she is in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. She did not mention that. Did you mention that? I'm talking about the sunny, sunny, sunny,
oh, the
lovely. Oh, baby, I will be there. So I will phone back. I will let you all know because I'm going down in June. So y'all need to come on down and support a sister's business. Tamika, will you go ahead and share with the audience a little bit about yourself and what you do and how we can get in touch with you?
Okay, sure. I'm Tamika Flowers, also known as Gutsy Black Girl. I started Gutsy Black Girl last year. I am a licensed clinical social worker and also a mental health provider. And what I do with my business, Gutsy Black Girl, is I host financial workshops. I do help um, support groups for helping professionals and also host luxury retreats. So, one of the two things that I combine together is financial education and self care. I'll be having my first upcoming retreat in June. I'm so excited about it. It's for women. It's going to be about 10 of us, very intimate. I've been working with clients one on one, educating them about their finances because a lot of people just, you know, they don't know some of the basic things as far as all of the money that's coming in, what's going out, how they should invest their money. If they are investing, if they're still working in a TSP or 401k, how to budget, about side hustling. And like you said earlier, yes, I was in debt, over $86,000 worth of debt. My mom introduced me to credit cards at the early age of 15. However, she did not give me any concept about paying it off, not to put more than 20 or 30% on the credit card. So they were all maxed out. So, I'm a firm believer in financial literacy, just knowing, just having that education.
Mhm. That's so many of us can identify with that story. I don't know about anybody else here, but college was my undoing because the first week on campus, what do? They have you sign up for credit cards. What poor broke college student doesn't want a credit card? So sis, I totally understand. I understand how it happens. But to know that you were able to unravel all of that and now that you're sharing it with other women, I think it's priceless. We have so many things in common. But before we get into it, Zakia, you're up. Tell us what you do, sis.
Hello, everybody. I have been in information security and compliance for like 20 years. So that is my professional background in helping customers, clients, usually corporate clients, identify risks. I've done auditing. Actually, I'm in the AI space right now with a client in reviewing third party vendors. And my passion really is helping people just in my travels and helping to take care of family members. People really don't know what information that they have out there, how easily accessible that information is for others. I don't know if any of you have experienced it, but I know I experienced when I went out on my own that I had some bills in my name. Uh,
Mhm.
and, I just want people to really, really understand that there are methods and ways for them to protect their identity, their privacy. But even in the security space, just being able to protect yourself as you travel, as you're online. There are steps and methods, and I actually have a tips and tricks um, document that I'm happy to share freely that will give you, some basic pointers just in navigating and staying safe online. And like I said, as you're out and about, traveling, protecting yourself, because physical security is very real as well. And so I just want to be able to help people as they navigate.
Thank you all, ladies. You know, when I'm with you all, there's something we all have in common. There's so many things we all have in common when I listen to you all tell your stories. But one of them, truly, that we may not have touched on is that you all are looking at the queens of the pivot. I mean, at all, I can hear all of us have done something before we did what we're doing right now. And so I hope that that serves as an inspiration to anybody who's watching, who's listening, that if you are stuck in a toxic work environment, whatever it is, if you're in a situation that doesn't work for you, you can pivot. These women are going to share information with you that will help you master your finances, that will help you find other ways that you can free yourself. Because if nothing else, we're about freedom. I think so many of us connected through Exodus Summit because we were interested in how can we secure more freedom. I know I wanted to just be free, Lord. Just, Lord, show me to the world. Turn me to the streets. I need to get out of these travel streets. I promise you. And so I think there's going to be so much for you to glean from this conversation. But what I'm seeing in the chat is everybody can identify with. I think you hit a nerve when you said that the credit card debt. Maya says she risked it all for a t-shirt.
I did too. I did too.
Y'all, it was the simplest thing. It could have been a hamburger. I'm telling you, and the way they start is right on college campuses. But Tamika, you said that your mom was the first one to introduce you to credit cards. Can you tell us about how you got started and how did you find your way out of it?
I just remember always going with my mom. We did not have a car, so we would catch the bus. And, around when school would start, she would have to put clothes on layaway. And, we would go and shop. And, it used to be called Goldsmiths. So now I think Goldsmiths is Macy's. And we were in Goldsmiths and we were shopping, and who knows, maybe she was over the limit, maybe she couldn't get a credit card, who knows, but she just happened to open up a Goldsmiths credit card in my name when I was 15. And that started that credit card addiction for me, where I was swiping and swiping. I went from Goldsmiths to all other type of store brands and just different credit cards and just swiping and swiping. And that credit card addiction went well up into my 30s.
Mhm. It seems to be a common thread because we've got everybody chiming in. It was a t-shirt, Lord. What did the t-shirt say? Good Lord. I can remember being, I promise you, you were 15, I was 18. Way too young, you all. You know what I'm saying? You can't even, there's so many things and rights that you don't even have at 15 and 18, but they will trust you with credit. The US seems to have this predatory kind of relationship, particularly in the Black community. Yes, they will offer us this without educating. I think that's a crime. So, Tamika, do you do some re educating of women in this area? So, how did you? What exact steps did you take to get out from under that? Because I can see the oppression from that, just feeling like you're crushed. How do you begin to dig yourself out of that kind of debt?
Well, to tell you, really, it's about mindset. And it's about, just having some control, because actually I paid off all of the credit cards before. And a couple of years later, I just went back and recharged them up again. So I actually paid off credit cards twice, because if you don't get educated, if you don't have a different mindset about just finances and looking to see, okay, you charged $1,000, but actually you end up paying back 3,500. And if you're not really educated on interest rates, or educated on just paying the minimum, $25 monthly, you'll be paying off that $2,000 forever, just paying that minimum payment. So you have to educate yourself. Again, you have to know, what bills you have for the month, what is due, what are those interest rates,
Mhm.
not to put more than 20% on the credit card. So it took years of, education, listening to podcasts, just tracking my budget and looking at my money almost every day. Some people are just afraid to even, open up their mail. So you have to just be proactive, again, know what's coming in, what's going out, tracking your expenses, not
Mhm.
putting too much on your credit card if you're going to use a credit card, but overall, just financial literacy and education.
Yeah. I think you nailed it too when you said mindset, because you paid it off. I think we've all can identify with some portion of that story that we either paid it down, we paid it off, we cut the cards up. But if you don't address your mindset, and you'll just you'll recreate that same trauma, you'll recreate that same situation over and over again. So much of it has to do with changing your mind, making sure that you get to the underlying, because generally for some of us it's something else underneath that. We aren't just
Absolutely.
charging up credit cards. We're trying to fill in the void. We are probably
Mhm.
stressed. We're
Mhm.
avoiding stress at work. It's that quick fix. Whether it's for me, you all, it was shoes and handbags. I could tell my own story. It was shoes and handbags because it was so easy. It was a quick fix. I could go get a couple handbags. I never bought Gucci bags. I wasn't gonna spend 4,000, but I sure will spend 500. What's the difference if you buy two $500 handbags as opposed to one $4,000 handbag? But in my mind, I wasn't as bad as the Gucci girl. You couldn't tell me. I thought I was, I'm doing it better. Those are really, I've heard them referred to as like soft addictions, whether
Mhm,
it's food.
mhm,
Yeah, I had a definite addiction. You said it too, Tamika. I think you used the word addiction, and
mhm,
it can be absolutely addictive because you get that quick hit. You get the
mhm.
satisfaction. It may take your mind off of whatever it is you were stressed about or thinking about or trying to avoid, and now you've got this cute little shiny thing that you all, in the end, I don't know about you guys, but most of us are either trying to get free. Some of us have left the US. We aspire to leave the US. And one of the things that I hear over and over again is I've got debt. I have this thing that's tying me down that I need to tend to. Or more often than not, like my case, y'all, I had a house chugged full of handbags and shoes. It took me a whole year. Really, it took 2 years, y'all, for me to clear out that house. And it wasn't until I came face to face with all that stuff for real. I didn't have a YouTube channel at that time. All of it kind of led up to this because I had to have a mind shift change, but I had to confront it. I had to look at all the handbags, all that money that I could have invested. Terry, you would have had a fit had you seen all the money, all the lost opportunities, because it was really real to me. Those were really missed money opportunities. That
Mhm.
$1,000, $7,000 worth of shoes. Are you kidding me? What that money could have done in the market, what I
Mhm.
could have done in terms of investing in real estate or anything like that, just something that wasn't a depreciating asset for sure.
That's
So, yeah,
it.
Terry, you were going to
It's interesting. That's for me having my math anxiety, my math trauma. What's really switched up things for me was when I thought that I understood compound interest. even when you understand it in theory and you can see it in a spreadsheet and you can see it all mapped out, there's nothing like seeing it work against you, but also see the magnitude of the power you have by making tiny changes and shifting it into your favor. And the thing that really did it for me is I decided, okay, when I'm no longer in debt, I'm going to go this hard for me and even harder. And it, I learned so much. It helped me to prioritize, really focus on my why. And
Yeah.
I started once I realized that coming here was moving to Puerto Vallarta, excuse me, was and building as part of a lifelong dream that I had. Um, I just I compared things to bricks. I compared distractions to brick. Oh, are you worth that brick? I don't think so. Right. So really knowing my why, and that's really what I focus on with my clients is knowing their why and
Yeah.
having something that's true to them that they can filter these other things that may be distractions. Maybe it's not, but now you have something to compare it to. So
Yeah.
if someone asks you to join them in something, maybe you do want to do it, but maybe you don't. And you're able to ask yourself and not feel bad about it because you're already set in what your goal is.
I
Terry,
think
but
it's
when you
really,
said, oh,
oh,
I'm sorry,
sorry, go ahead.
Zakia,
No,
you
no.
go.
Well, I was just thinking in regards, we're talking about a mind shift. And I think we also have to talk about the shame, that is felt, by these situations that we find ourselves in. And also sometimes these predicaments, right, seem so dire that we make hasty decisions that make us fall prey, right, to predatory lending and things like that. And um, I had a situation with my grandmother who I thought she was a boss. She owned multiple properties, and she ended up losing her last property because she never said anything. When I found out, when she disclosed what was happening, the house was on its way to the auction. And it's that shame and just not knowing. And I want to educate people like my grandmother who's now gone, but there are people out here who are praying, right, who are trying to get information from you, who are trying to get you to spend money that you don't have, and just digging yourself into a hole. And unless you have that outlet, that the resources to be able to share what's going on, and not have to be ashamed about it, then you're able, right, to climb out of that pit, or to ask for some help and get some relief, some guidance and direction. And that's why I really appreciate this channel and you ladies.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think we all have an education component because I think in one way or another, our lives have been impacted by our finances, whether it was positively or negatively. And Terry, you said it. Not only do you can feel the impact of compound interest when it's working against you, but baby, when you master it and you see how it works for you, oh my goodness, I don't need shoes. I can walk into the
Sorcery.
best. Oh my goodness. I
Magic.
promise you all, I just left. Where was I? Singapore. Best shopping in the world. Best shopping in the world. I walked past all of that stuff. I'm like, y'all don't know what I know. You do not know what I know. Are you kidding me? I can't wait for the stock market to open up on Monday. Oh my goodness. I am not spending my money here in this mall. That is so, for me, it's such a low vibrational way to get that supply. It's such a low vibrational way, but I understand it because it's easy access. But once you understand how money works, it changes everything. On that note, I want you guys to make sure that you reach out to these women because we have financial coaches here, we have financial educators here. If there's a field that you're interested in, we have somebody for you. On that note, I'm going to add to the stream. Hello, Nequosha. Would you say your first name for me? Because I hate it when somebody butchers my first name. My name is Sandra. It's not Sandra. It's not Sandy. I'm not Sandria. And I've been called all of those things. And it is my pet peeve. So will you go ahead? We're just gonna pause right here because we jumped in, but we
Yes.
haven't gotten too far in, sis. I'm
Yes,
gonna
I appreciate you all and your patience with me. My little niece and my nephew, they must have knew that Auntie had something to do. So we had to read 6 books. We had to make sure the stars were a certain color. Then I had to make sure that I had to do the routine, honey.
life be
So
life, and we know
life
life.
be life. And so my sis and my bro, today's their anniversary. So I'm trying to be a good auntie. But nonetheless, if everyone can say with me, quote,
Quote.
Quote.
now together we say Nequosha. It's the same Q
Nequosha.
sound as in quote.
Nequosha.
I always tell
You
people if you can
you
say
sent me
quote,
that phonetically. I had it,
if you
but
can say quote,
this whole
you can
brain.
say Nequosha. So I am thankful for everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you for having me. So I am the founder and managing attorney of Anderson Law Firm. So I do business and intellectual property, and my bread and butter is legal strategy and legal strategists. So I always take the time to figure out what you have going on before you dive in with me on the legal side, because as we know, in engaging an attorney, it often comes with negative connotations or feelings of you're just going to tell me everything I'm doing wrong. And that's not my approach. So my approach is to come to you, understand what you got going on, sis. And that way I can look around the corner and let you know what might be coming. All right. Oh, my voice. Come on, listen. I told you I just read 6 nighttime books. So I'm in nighttime mode.
Girl, we here for the party. You can put that hat away. We here for the party.
I can't get
All y'all
too
should have
rowdy.
cocktails.
This listen, H2O is the best cocktail, but I can't get
You
too
see,
rowdy. I can't get
same
too
here.
rowdy because the little people, and we don't want them in the back because I haven't got them all settled, honey. Okay. So yes, but I agree with you. I know when I go out of town and I go to spaces and places, I look for the bigger experience. I know shopping and we can get caught up in those labels and things. And oftentimes it's just a status symbol. It's just the United States economy is built upon consumerism. So they need you to consume in order to continue to stimulate the economy. But when you learn and you take a second and you back yourself out and see what's going on, you'll be like, wait a minute, all I'm doing is consuming, I'm not producing. And when you learn the difference between consuming and producing, it changes things for you. It changes your life. It changes so many aspects of what you have going on. So just take a second and pause, because if you think about it, if you don't buy that one particular item that you just got to have and you've been coveting and it's been in your shopping cart and they sending you them 10% off, them 15% off and all that other stuff, baby, life still goes on whether you buy it or not.
It's a trap. It's a trick. They know what they're doing. You said it. They need cogs in the wheel to keep that wheel churning. And I promise you, being away from the US, and I know some of us in the chat, we aspire to leave, or we've left. We're at some point in that journey. uh, just stepping away, you all stepping back into that in Singapore, they specialize in the whole luxury experience. I was overwhelmed. I was like, what madness is this? Because where I am now in Chiang Mai, it's very calm, it's very quiet. Thailand has a whole different kind of aura about it. And it has been so healing to not be exposed to that kind of consumerism and capitalism, to step back into it. My little sister was totally shocked. I was like, oh Lord, let me get out of here. Because I could not even manage. I couldn't process all of this, just luxury store after luxury store after luxury store. But what I found so curious, you all, is different from the US. When I'm in the US, I see us. I see people who look like me with Gucci bags, Gucci belts. I see us buying those status symbols. You said it. Because we are more often than not medicating something. So we're massaging something. Do you all know those stores were absolutely empty? Not a soul. I saw the security guard and the cashier. Nobody was going in and out of those stores. Now, I'm sure people who spend that kind of money, maybe they shop after hours, maybe they shop with a private shopper. I don't know. But the everyday person, the Singaporean, they weren't going in and out of those stores. I don't
Mm.
think they received the same messaging. They understand that that's an experience for tourists or for other people. I did not see one person, not one local, go inside of any of those stores. And I found that to be so curious.
Hmm.
But I think it does absolutely speak to the machine that the US is. The US is a machine built on capitalism, and they need us. They need cogs in the wheel to make
Absolutely.
that thing go. And so that's why mindset is so important. And I want you all again to check in the chat, check down in the description. All of the ladies, we have put everybody's contact information in the chat. So if you need some support, because you do you don't have to go it alone. I think that's another thing I've learned from Exodus Summit is that community and networking together, you can move miles ahead faster than you could if you did it by yourself, if you're struggling with something. So don't struggle alone. There's no shame. Who was it that mentioned something about the shame?
Yeah.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is such a big
It's
part.
real.
We don't want to tell anybody, but I promise you, I know for a fact, we meet weekly on Wednesday, and we have created, I have, if nothing else, I'd like to know and to share that we've created a safe environment where you can sit next to your sister and say, "Girl, I did this dumb thing with my money," and nobody says a peep. Nobody, everybody's like, most time, more often than not, you'll see somebody going, "Mm-hmm, I I did the same thing." There's no shame. I think that stigma is something that prohibits us from moving forward and as quickly as we could.
Yeah,
Nequosha, I know you do intellectual property as well. We have some new creators,
we
content
do.
creators
I
in the
do.
chat.
Yes.
Yes.
Hello, welcome creators. I love you
Yeah.
all. Come speak to me before you release it into the world, Craig. I mean, I need everybody and their mama to know what you have, but I also need you to know what you have. And if you
Mhm.
caught that, you caught that. Because oftentimes we are so quick to launch. We are quick starters. We are quick out the gate, honey. And that is where we often fail because we have no plan once we get out the gate. And that is where we are not doing our asset, whether it's a good or a service, any justice. So you often want to bring me or people who do what I do competent. Let me put an asterisk there. Competent people who do what I do into the beginning. You want to get me in the beginning because I can often tell you who's already in the space, whether your name is actually available. Because oftentimes as creatives, we get an ideal in our head and we are immediately caught on to, I've never seen this, so it doesn't exist. I've
Mhm.
never seen this, so it does not exist. And that is not the truth. I want you to stop lying to yourself. There are multi-million-dollar businesses that have no footprint on Google. Let me
Wow.
repeat. There are multi-million-dollar businesses that have no footprint on Google. So please don't think your Google search makes it safe. It is not safe in these streets. You need to come see me. I pay a lot of money for commercial search database software that is only available to practitioners like myself. And we are able to generate data that you don't have access to, sweetie. And I don't want you out here slipping and getting a cease and desist letter because you didn't do your due diligence before you launched. And those with a plan are often those who survive than those who don't. So if you are creative, you want to develop a plan of action to make sure your product is actually available to go to market. Just because someone pays you because you just got up out there does not mean it's available for marketing. Does not mean that you are the first in the space. You may be different and unique in the space, and that could set you apart, but you still need to have a plan and you still need to have data. What separates you is data. Knowledge is powerful. And what you do with that data and what you do with that knowledge will separate you. Okay. So I am so excited. And I see Marilyn put in my consulting business in the chat. My firm is Anderson Law Firm, PLLC, and you can reach it by going to andersonlawfl.com. That is the link to learn more about how we can get in that type of setting. It's AndersonLawFL4Florida.com. Okay. Protect Your Sauce is a membership for where if you just want to join and learn more and get in doc reviews or things of that nature. But if you want to get legal compliance and actual legal strategy, you need to meet me over at the law firm, not Protect Your Sauce. So I want you to, as a creative, to also understand that you don't always have to go. There are multiple business strategies and models that you can utilize for your asset or good, which includes licensing. And that's what I'm actually going to be talking about this week in a workshop I have on Thursday, all about licensing, because licensing is $1 billion industry that a lot of us are not in, and we need to change that immediately. Immediately. You can literally develop a product that can go directly to licensing. You don't have to do it the B2C method. And that's often a harder method because you're only selling one to one. And then you may want to think about selling B2B because that's where the money is. Well, that's where the money resides. But you didn't hear that from me.
Mm. It sounds like we need to talk to you and Zakia, because Zakia, I think those two marry beautifully, because you're talking about protecting your intellectual property and how best to get it out to the world, and Zakia talks about how to protect yourself through cybersecurity. And I know for a fact those two are things that we often overlook. That's not the first thing that we think about when we go into
No.
business. It is, what do I have to offer? How do I get it out to people? And I think sometimes that security piece is it's a second thought. It's an afterthought. When it sounds like what you ladies are saying, you might need to put those pieces in place first before you even talk about going to market. So I'm guilty as charged. I don't know, and I'm telling you, I try to encourage women. Most of us, again, I said we met through Exodus Summit. We love Stephanie Perry. Stephanie has encouraged so many of us to get out of the US, to pivot, believe in yourself, repackage your skills, also to start a YouTube channel, get what you know out to the world. But there's another side to that information. And so I don't want any of my people, I don't want any of my sisters out here, just out here with your stuff hanging out in the street with your slip showing. And so the way around that is to connect with professionals. We don't have to go outside of our community. We have everything you need right here, not only in this chat, but right here on this panel. You've got women who know about finance. You have women who know about real estate. We've got intellectual property. We've got cybersecurity here, right here in this chat. You all, it reminds me of Black Wall Street. You all remember the back in the day when I came up, you all, I lived on a block. I didn't have to leave my neighborhood. There was a Black grocer. There was a Black everybody look, my grandmama was the Black preacher. There was somebody who did your hair. There was a restaurateur. We never had to leave outside of our community. And so I like to restore that where we have the resources. So make sure that you're dropping your questions. If you have a question, put it in the chat, put 3 Q's in front of it. Marilyn works so diligently, y'all. We have the moderator from heaven. Marilyn keeps this show. She keeps this thing tight. She keeps it right. So if you have questions, drop them down here. The ladies are here to, assist you. If you don't want to leave your question here, if your question's too sensitive, for virgin eyeballs, you can also reach out to everyone. We have put everybody's contact information in the description along with the chat. Hey, Yvette. Hey, Cassandra. I just love these ladies. I promise you. So if you are an aspiring content creator, please chime in. We want to make sure that you connect with the right people so that you're not only getting your information out, but that you're also protecting yourself.
Yeah. And it's so refreshing to just have these conversations that we're having, because a lot of times, money is so taboo. People won't talk about money. They won't talk about debt. They won't talk about what they make on a job, if they got a promotion, how much is your mortgage, or if you have a car note. It's like everything is so taboo. Nobody wants to talk about these things. So who is it that you go to, when you get that raise, or when you're trying to ask for a raise, or if you're trying to get a rental property, if you want to know about interest rates, because people are so closed down, we won't discuss that. And I've always wanted to know why. Why is it? Why is money topic so taboo? And who do we have as a people, especially people of color, to go and talk to and bounce these things off of? So
That was
that's why.
the whole concept behind Money After Dark. We talk about the things that you wouldn't normally, because everybody is probably comfortable. If you have a broker, nobody has a problem picking up their phone and saying, place this trade for me, buy this, or I'm interested in this. But we keep it very surface. When it's time to talk about our private things, we keep the wrong things private. The things that we need to be discussing, like how do I protect myself online? Zakia, I know for a fact, y'all, and I don't want to say too much because we are on air, but I need every service that I heard here. I need every service that I heard here. Zakia, how did you break into the field of cybersecurity? And I heard you say AI. Everybody
Yes.
know you all, this artificial intelligence is here. It's real. It's happening. I use Chat GPT all the time. I joke and say it's my boyfriend, but there are some real security concerns. Can you share with us how we can protect ourselves and what are some things we need to be on the lookout for?
Yes, for sure. So just from a basics, as far as, just being online, making sure that you have your antivirus software, your firewalls, making sure any applications that you're using that they're up to date. I know you get the pop-up that says, that there's a new version update, even with your browsers, Chrome, Edge, they're constantly updating because the thing is, there are people out here, and I'll just say the bad people, who are out here and they are taking advantage of those vulnerabilities. And so, if you don't have your systems up to date, then you are opening yourself up, right, to be exposed. And it's kind of like just not locking your door, right? You have anybody who can just walk in because you have not locked your door, even from accessing Wi-Fi, especially for people who are traveling. It's so easy to just hop on the free Wi-Fi. You want to make sure that you have a virtual private network, which is a VPN that you're using. And all public Wi-Fi is not created equal. And you have people out here, it may say that it's free Wi-Fi, and it's actually somebody else who has created this fake Wi-Fi network, and you hop on and there all of your information is exposed. And so you never really want to use public Wi-Fi to access your bank information, um, anything that's personal, right? Even your email. And those are things that people just don't even really think about, even from a travel standpoint and using debit cards versus a credit card. I had a situation where I was in Mexico City and I went to the ATM and I was using a Cash App card. That doggone machine took my card. Now, had it actually been my debit card or something, I really would have, been distraught, but it was just a Cash App card, so not a big deal. But you really want to make sure that you have systems in place. So even using a credit card, but being able to have that electronic access where you can lock that down and report anything that's happening. Also, making sure that you alert your financial institutions that you are traveling as well. And then too, with having that online access, and I'm sure people have heard about phishing scams and things like that. When you get an email and it may not be from someone you recognize, or it could be from someone you recognize, right? But there are little details that you can see and notice that it's not right. And that's something that I can help people identify. But you don't want to just click on links and attachments that come across email in haste because we're just always so busy. Go, go, go. And people are actually texting you now. Those are called smishes. So they're smishing, SMSing, sending you links that they want you to click on. They're even being crafty and calling you. And that's something, again, that, like I said, my grandmother fell prey to, calling and trying to get information from you, getting you to share information. And because of AI, right, we can actually have our voices captured. And so it can actually sound like it's your grandson that's calling and saying, hey, I need some money, right? There are those things that actually exist and we have to be aware of, and we can't be so quick to act because these bad actors, that's what they want. They want to prey on your emotions, and it's always something that's urgent, something you're going to miss out on if you don't take advantage. And so we just have to slow down and be smarter as we navigate, whether it's online or even just physically, not being caught up, leaving our things unattended, and telling people we're on the phone and we're telling somebody where we're staying, and we don't know who's around us, who's
Mhm.
overhearing that, right? So there are a lot of things, as far as being able to protect yourself, like I said, online and physically, because it's all your information, your assets, all available, and we have to do our due diligence in trying to protect it and lock it down.
I would
I'm
love to
just
piggyback on a lot of what she said.
I'm sorry.
see, we
No,
were like,
no, I wanna add to the conversation because it's like, okay, oh, you're telling me all the bad. Tell me some things, Nequosha. Tell me some things. She didn't, okay, I love it. She didn't gave me all these things, but from what is something else I could do? One of the key things that I do is I try to find software that kind of, I know that is safe, secure, and it kind of helps with this. So I know a lot of us are navigating online, and one of the key companies that I like to use, and I think I've been with them for a little while now. So they gave me they gave a thug a referral code. Ow. So one of the key things is Dash Lane. Dash Lane is a password security software. It's called Dash, like like little dash of pepper, a little dash of salt. Dash Lane, and if you want the referral code, I'll give it to y'all. But Dash Lane is one of those. Depending on where you go in, it's not only a password keeper, but it also has the opportunity for you to get VPN. And if you pay for the family plan, you get up to 10 accounts. So that means your mama, your grandma, your auntie, your elderly, in addition to those teenagers, in addition to partners and spouses or whoever, they can also have their own password protector, but also access to VPN. We want to be able to just not tell our families and tell our friends, but empower them with the tools that they need to make sure that they are out here navigating Al Gore's internet, Beyonce's internet, or whoever internet you want to call it. There are non there are people out here who will hurt you and harm you and smile in your face. You know them in real life, and they are definitely online as well. And so you want to be able to empower yourself. So a lot of these things are, a lot of these terms are maybe foreign to you. So just think of it like this: a VPN is like the lock on your front door. A VPN is like the lock on your front door. You don't leave that unlocked, do we? No, we don't. So when you are out here on internet that you're not paying for, meaning if you're not browsing from your cell phone device, if you're not browsing from a secure place, meaning that you paid a bill for, and nobody else can get the password unless you give it to them, you need a VPN. Okay, you need a lock on your front door. The lock on the front door is a VPN in internet land. Okay, the other thing that was mentioned that I just loved and I want to make sure we're talking about is changing our passwords.
Mhm.
Let's change our passwords. Let's change our passwords.
Naquasha,
Let's
how often
And
change.
do
let's
how
not.
often should we do this? And
And
and please address the one password across all of your
mm-mm,
accounts.
mm-mm,
Just
do not.
somebody, please. And wait a minute, and then I'm gonna toss this one in too. Because I need to know for myself. Thank you for talking about the VPN, but I want to talk about two-step authentication. Is it
Yeah.
effective? Should we be setting it up?
Yes.
all that stuff.
So
Yes.
So y'all get the
it should
cybersecurity
be,
stuff in it.
yeah. So as far as, and that's something that I address too, in regards to the passwords. First of all, do not use the same password across multiple accounts, because if one gets compromised,
They
then
all.
they are all compromised. And also, let me tell you this: as far as all passwords are not created equal either.
They.
So you cannot, you think, oh well, my password, it has the capital letter, it has the one special character, it has a number. Let me tell you, anything under 16 characters can
I
be
can figure
cracked
it
in less
out.
than 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Anything under 16 characters can be cracked in less than 6 hours. So, with that being said, we want to make sure that we have not just a password, but that we have strong passwords. And oftentimes, I encourage people to have a passphrase as opposed to just a password.
Agree.
But you do want to have multiple characters in regards to the upper and lower case, the special characters, the numbers. Also, when it comes to even your these, you have these places that do store passwords, and there isn't a place that isn't, how can I put it,
There's not a place that's
that
not
won't be
secure that can't
cracked.
get
That's not secure.
into.
Yeah,
Let's just
exactly.
call a thing a thing.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Mhm.
key is each company's and their security privacy is different, and they have
Yes.
an obligation to put that, and you can go read it. So
Mm-hmm.
once you get knowledge, remember we talked about that, getting the data, getting the knowledge. Once you get
Yes.
knowledgeable, you then can then make an informed decision on what works best for you. Remember, cheaper isn't always better. Cheaper isn't always better. So
Yes.
you want to make sure that
That's
you
true.
are creating a criteria for when you're making these decisions on who you give your money to. So develop
Mm-hmm.
questions to evaluate whether or not this person's or this company meets that criteria for you. Now, what may work for me may not work for you. Now,
Yes.
I know for me and mine, I know what I'm doing. That may not be on your level. But what I do need you to understand is some form of protection is needed if you're out here on the internet. Because, and then
Yeah.
also, when you are navigating and you are unsure, be very cognitive of who you're giving your phones to. There was a special on 60 Minutes, and there was this gentleman who is in prison right now, and he talked about how quickly he could hack into people's phones and bars and things and capture and wipe out their entire bank accounts. And they gave him the phone. He will
Mm-hmm.
lock you out of your iPhone. He will lock you out of your Android device in under 5 minutes because you gave him the phone. Now, I
Yes.
need for you all to understand who you are giving your phones to. Everybody ain't safe. They would literally be like, hey, unlock your phone. He was like, I would ask people, I would befriend them in bars. I would get them vulnerable because they were drinking. And I would get their phones and I would, hey, unlock your phone. I would then go into settings and rechange their password to something that I needed in a matter of seconds. And that, my friend, is how they got access to bank accounts and transferred money, all these types of things in a matter of minutes. I need for you all to be diligent. These devices carry your entire life and they can be
Mm-hmm.
gone in an instant. Do you know that Apple ID is so sensitive, okay? That if I lock you out of this phone, you'd be like, oh, I'm gonna go to my computer. By the time you get to your computer, by the time you get to your iPad, I'm getting all the codes. Every time you
Mm-hmm.
do I'm getting them. The person who took your phone. So I'm not trying to tell you to, oh my God, it ain't safe. The world ain't safe. We know it ain't safe. That's why we got seatbelts and brakes. But you need to be diligent.
And that's just
This,
it.
this
That's
one,
just it.
Lisa
There's
posted this
nothing
comment.
100%.
Yeah, but
Oh, I'm
we are
sorry.
handing over our phones to people to
Mm-hmm.
take pictures. I know I'm guilty of that. And I have taken a phone too. So I think we can all learn a lesson from that one. I never thought about that, you all actually relinquishing your phone or your laptop, your iPad, any of your technical, your equipment to in essence, a total stranger under the
Yes.
guise of taking a picture, or maybe they have an emergency. We all could do better. I know I could.
And then you had mentioned to Sandra as far as the two-factor authentication, and I like to say multi-factor authentication because I know that I have several methods of getting into some of my accounts. So you may see in a lot of applications, banks and so forth, they have these already set up, but your email should have it, whether it's calling your phone or sending a text message or setting up a secondary email account. Just having multiple ways. And there's also authenticator apps that exist where there may be something that pops up on your phone where you have to enter a number that matches the application that you're accessing, or it could just be a push notification. There are multiple ways, but the key is having more than just you entering a password to access your application. And also, to Nicole's point in regards to people being able to change information, I saw a special some years ago. Your Bluetooth. How many times? How often do we just walk around, right, with our Bluetooth wide open, where we don't have our settings correct, in that anybody, right, can access our Bluetooth, and so we need to make sure that we have our connections on lock. And it just, if you don't understand, if you aren't sure, ask. Don't let that fear or shame keep you, right, from getting the knowledge. And Google, Dr. Google is helpful. YouTube University as well. But I do want to say, you have to do your due diligence, right, in seeking and contacting and reaching out. This community has, I'm not the only person who's in the information security space, right? Definitely reach out, talk, collaborate. Go ahead,
We
For
Nicosia.
love
sure.
Google. Look, we love Google and we love YouTube University, but there is nothing like connecting with a professional
For
who is
sure.
who you can talk to and they can address your specific concerns, your specific situation. So I am encouraging you because most of us, we're not 22 anymore. Some of us have really built and amassed a degree of wealth or
Mhm.
assets that we need to be vigilant about protecting. So I don't know about you all, but I'm gonna be making some phone calls. I'm right now in my mind, I'm saying, oh Lord, I need to make sure that I am tending to these things because as hopefully we're all acquiring not just money, but we're amassing wealth and assets for ourselves and to pass on to our children, our
Oh, yes.
grandchildren, some of us. Yes.
Yes.
What you wanted to say?
Yes, so you segmented directly to where I wanted us to go. So, as you are developing these passwords and these gate codes and key codes, I need for you to put them in a secure place because at the time of when Jesus called you home, nobody is going to have access to your things. And simply having people as beneficiaries does not entitle them to access. Let me repeat. Having people as beneficiaries does not entitle them to access. You need to sit down. I don't care. Oh, I'll do it later. You don't have later. And let me tell you why. My parents had me as teenagers, okay? That's a common story in our community. My parents had me as teenagers. My dad had a high school diploma. My mom had the college degree. Together, they were unstoppable and made multi-million-dollar businesses. My dad had a logistics company. We still have it to this day. But on January 8th, 2022, on his beloved motorcycle on his way home, my father had an accident and he died. This is 2 weeks from when they were having the signing appointment. This is many a years when I have encouraged them to go and speak with an estate planning attorney and get their affairs in order because I'm an only child. And I told them, I don't want no mess. I don't want no mess. And it was literally 2 weeks from the day, 2 weeks from the day that they were supposed to finish signing the documents and the trusts and get everything funded that my father passed away. You do not have the time. You do not have the time. You do not have the time. You need to make it a priority. You need to make it a priority before you go and make that next I deserve purchase. You need to make it a priority before you go and you say, ooh, I want that. You need to make it a priority because you are doing your family and your loved ones when you're out here working like a dog for a disservice if you don't have your affairs in order. And once you get them in order, you have an obligation to continue to update them. You do not get to stop. You do not get to stop because you said, I have a will. You do not get to stop because you now have, oh, I got this type of zeros in the bank. I got these commas in my name. I own this real estate. I own this piece of property. Heck, I don't even live in the US. Well, baby, unless you renounce your United States citizenship, guess where they're gonna ship that body?
I say right back to the US. That's where you're going. You're
You're
going right back
coming right
home.
on back. You're coming right on back to this US of A. All right. So I need for you all to take and understand the importance of having your affairs in order. I call wills, trust, and estate nothing but family law for the deaf. Because unless you have your affairs in order, and I do mean down to the nitty gritty of what I want to have on, this is the service I want, this is the money I'm dedicating for caskets, this is where I want my final resting place. Your family is going to put their wants, wishes, and decisions on you.
Y'all, this we could do this. We could go down this lane all day and all night because I don't know about y'all. This is stuff that's near and dear to me because many of us are travel girlies. We're out in the world moving about, and these might not be things that are front of mind. So this is definitely a conversation, y'all. We're gonna need to pick this up for real. This sounds like a whole nother segment. This sounds like a comeback, a circle the block moment where we can really specifically hone in on this because I got to shift. We got questions in the chat, and I'm watching the questions roll by, and I'm saying,
Okay.
okay, I promise y'all, I'm gonna get to your questions, but I just want to hit one, and it's a little bit related. But Mary posted this question. She says, "Where do I start? I'm an aspiring content creator. Okay, maybe this is not related, and I'm also retired with a pension. I have a travel company. Well, maybe it is,
It
and I'm so
is.
interested in ways to protect myself and make my money last. Anybody want to jump in on that one? Where does she start?" We got Nequosha, don't you do
Do all of this. I know how
I
to answer,
know.
but I feel like I don't want to be that
No,
person on the panel
we
that
need you to tell us where do we start and where do we go, or do we just need to call you? We need you to
you're going to need
jump.
to do all three. But one of the key things to start is don't call yourself inspiring. If you have picked up a phone, if you have picked up a text, if you picked up a pen, you are not inspiring. You are. So let's change our language. You are. Jesus said, I am.
Mhm.
Jesus said, I am. And so are you. So I am a content creator. I am doing this. You're not inspiring. You are. Change your language. Number two, you retire with a pension. Kudos to you. Those are a rarity. You are a unicorn. Now you need to make sure that you have your affairs in order for that pension. Have your affairs in order for that pension. Okay? You said, I have a travel company. Make a plan of action for what that you want that travel company to do. Many a times we're not creating businesses, we're creating jobs. So I need you to understand the difference. I need you to understand the difference between creating a job and starting a business. When you start a business, you have plans of actions, you have goals, and you establish strategies and tactics to meet those goals. When you have a job, you just all over the place and you create and work for yourself and you don't know where you're going. You don't know where you're headed. You have no purpose, no audience, no structure, no nothing. And if something happens to you, see how we bringing it back? If something happens to you, now you have all these open holes in your bucket. You have all these open holes in your bucket. You have all these open holes in your bucket and they are not tied up. And as an adult, you need to be responsible. Those who are responsible achieve more. Those who have a plan achieve more. Those who know where they're going and why achieve more. And money is not the motivator here. Money is, if you think money is the driving force, you are setting yourself up for failure.
And I think we don't want to leave that to I have children. I have two adult children, and I love them. And I'm doing all this work and creating this and putting all these things in place, not just for me, but for them. And I don't want to leave all those loose ends for my children. I know for a fact that there's still some work for me to do in the area of prepping in the event, because none of us think tomorrow's going to be our day. But nobody has a golden ticket till tomorrow either. So all of us, I think, should be operating with the thought that, hey, We should be living like it's our last day and enjoying like it's our last day, but we should also be prepared for what if it is your last day, because one day it will be your last
Yeah.
day. Nobody likes to talk about it. I know we don't want to think about it. That's like wonk wonk. Don't bring the party vibe down. But it's the truth. It's all the work that we put into place, all the real estate investments, all the investing that we've done in the stock market. For what? It isn't. It can't always be just about the money and accumulating the things, because now we just transfer shoes and bags, that thing, for something just bigger toys and shinier toys. So it can't be just that we're in the business of acquiring things and amassing things. It is for our loved ones, for me anyway. And so I really don't want to leave them with that kind of work, because in that time nobody wants to wrangle with all of that stuff. So if that is you, if you are a content creator, if you are a business owner, if you have any kind of assets, this is valuable work and information. So you all know what to do. Y'all know how to hit these links. We're not dropping these links in this chat for nothing. We can't do it all right here in this conversation, but we can certainly we can plant the seed and get you all pointed in the right direction. And on that one, I have another one. This is a definite pivot, y'all, but I promised I would get to these questions. Here's one. I think this is for you, Tamika. It says, how did you pay off $60,000 in debt? But it was more than that for you. How did you do that? Because yeah, that you don't hear that story too often. How did you, and how long did it take you? Is there something that you can offer to the audience in terms of how do you tackle a task like that?
Well, it's definitely strategy. And what I was thinking about as all of everyone was talking, just like we schedule time to get our hair done or to go get a massage or whatever that we do, you have to also have a money date, whether it's alone, whether it's with your spouse, whether it's whoever that you talk money to. Have a date, have a set date time where you sit down and you look at your money. One of the things that I did, I wrote down all of my debt. I wrote down the interest rates for all of the debt. um, I was the side hustle queen. If you think of all of those different things that people did, I did it. I did the Uber Eats, I did Lyft, I was an adjunct professor, I did DoorDash, I did Instacart, you name it. So, because I wanted that debt gone. So what I would do, just say if I did Instacart or I went and I taught classes at the local college on Monday and Wednesday, I made a totally separate account for that money. I did not touch that money. It didn't go into my regular savings account, my regular check-ins. Whenever I got that money every Friday, say it was $500 or whatever, it went directly towards debt. I didn't look at it, I didn't touch it, I didn't count it. I just knew, hey, as soon as this money goes into this Chase bank account, I take it directly out and I dump it on the debt. Dump it on that debt every week, every 2 weeks. That money just went straight towards that debt and paying it off. I also did some of those zero balance transfers. Just say, if I had a credit card that had 24 interest rate on it, but they're going to give me something where I can pull money, do that zero transfer balance, and I can put it on that card and it's not accruing any interest. And then I hurry up and pay it off so that interest won't continue to just build up on me. I was strategizing, anything that I could do to get some extra money and dump on that debt and not, and once I paid that credit card off, I didn't close it, didn't cut it up, because that'll really plummet your credit score. I didn't touch it. I didn't charge anymore. So it's about having a strategic plan and actually sticking to it. And everyone in the household needs to know, hey, this is the goal. We're getting this debt paid off.
Yes.
Tamika, I heard somebody, and I'm not familiar with this. Oh, Terry, and I'm gonna let you jump in there. But what about debt snowball? Is I was listening to one of my friends talk about prioritizing your debt, and then you start by paying off either the one with the highest interest rate or the lowest interest rate. Did any of that come into play, or did you just start attacking everybody? Did everybody get it?
Well, it's two. Well, it's two. It's according to what type of person you are. It's two different plans you can do. Some people have to see it up front. So they might see that they have a credit card that's $50, $100, $200, but they have to have that feeling of paying something off. So some people might look at the $50 and go ahead and get rid of it quickly so they can have their feeling of accomplishment versus somebody might look at the interest rate on the one that's 200 and they want to get that one down more quicker. But yeah, I did start out originally following Dave Ramsey's plan. So I went from Dave Ramsey to Susie Orman and eventually ended up following Choose Fire. And that, that's who I prefer. And that means financial independence and retire early. So, I did start out with him, but, I just thought $1,000 for emergency fund, I feel like you need more than that. But as get more educated and involved more, you have to see, which plan is best for you.
You say Dave Ramsey, girl, folks will get to fighting in the chat because
I
there
know.
are people who love Dave Ramsey and there are people who absolutely hate Dave
Yeah.
Ramsey. But again, I think you said it, you nailed it. I think it all depends on you have to know who you are. So much of this
Mhm.
work, whether it's amassing wealth, paying down debt, whatever it is, it really boils down to you, your mindset, and what personally is going to work for you. But the
Mhm.
real thing is, you just got to get started. You have got to, you cannot, this, the day it is over. Time is up for covering up your eyes. Monk, nope, you got, whether you want to look at it or not, because it's just not going away. The debt's not going to go away. Protecting yourself, nobody's going to come and do these things for us. And ladies,
Mhm.
this is why we have this forum, because we want to encourage you. Just, you are not alone, number one. We want to take away the shame and the stigma, number two. And then we want to connect you with the information and the resources that you need. So we do this once a month. And there's some women that are in the chat that will be on future shows because we have what we need. Everybody in this on this panel tonight is an expert in their field. And so I want to be the impetus for getting you connected to good information. Tamika, that just the thought of it just takes me back. I can remember having multiple credit cards maxed out, Lord, and the stress. And we deserve to live way better than that. So attacking these things, taking your hands from over your eyes, ladies, opening up your ears to one acknowledge that, yeah, I've got to do something. I have to start moving my feet. And here's at least an overview or a game plan. And if you don't get enough or glean enough information tonight, please reach out and ask for help. That's what we do. Tea Time Beauty, who is my doll friend, she says, how do I gain legal representation and advice when I'm doing my best to build my savings and pay down debt? It seems like lawyers and legal professionals are very expensive. Anybody? I'm gonna tell y'all what I think. This is what I say. I think you get what you pay for. Some things you have to there's some things you should pay for and some things you shouldn't pay for. There are ways to cut expenses. And then, I would rather cut back on buying shoes, handbags, and all those other things. I would rather go way lean, lean, lean there and pay for the absolute things that I cannot do. I'm not an expert. I'm not a legal professional. Things that I am not good at, I will absolutely pay for. I make that a priority. Now, I don't think I'm unique in that way. Of course, we all want value. Nobody wants to overpay for anything. But I think that's a mindset shift as well, because we'll find the money for what we want to do. And some things I just feel like for me in my life at this point, it's just not negotiable. Do you think I want to plunk down $5,000 for an attorney? No, not if I can get her for, a good attorney for 3,000. But the fact is, it has to be done where I just want to. I have learned to cut back all that other unnecessary stuff. There are areas where I am willing to make a sacrifice and get really lean in so that I can free up those resources to pay for quality service. Whether if it's an attorney, my accountant, there are just places where I just won't skimp. I just won't skimp. And then another thing, I will not ask a sister. This is just me. I will not ask a sister for a discount. When a sister says this is her price, that's her price. We don't go in and now it's a whole different ball game. I'm in Thailand. You can actually negotiate with your doctor in Thailand, but I don't want to negotiate. If that is your price, that is your price. If that's what it costs to get to secure this service, and we have already done the research and we know that we're receiving quality service, I'm gonna pay it. So that means maybe I won't take this next vacation, or maybe when I go on this next vacation, y'all know I'm never staying in a hostel, but maybe I won't stay at this 5-star hotel. Maybe I'll stay at this 3-star because I'm reallocating, I'm rebalancing where my money is going because I know that this thing is a priority. And I think getting good legal counsel, having an accountant, especially if you're you are a business owner, there's certain things as a new business owner, there are just certain things I don't tackle because it's beyond my pay grade. And I don't try to, I love Google. I love YouTube University. That's where I got started. But that's not where I go when it's time to set up my business. I'm not going to try to muddle through that paperwork because there are too many things that can come up. We just don't know what we don't know. And so I love the question. I love it. I think you're absolutely right. But I would be remiss without saying when you don't know what you don't know. And you need to pay the professional that knows the things that we don't know. And so that's my little 2 cents about it. Anybody else want to jump in? Nequosha, go for it.
Hi, professional here. Happy to answer the question. Number one, there are certain tiers. Well, number one, I want to approach a mindset thing that I saw in this question, and I want to tackle expensive. And you probably didn't think I was going there. But what is your definition of expensive? What is your definition of expensive? I want you to really take some time and journal about, I think this is expensive, and answer for yourself why you think it's expensive, and try to drill down as to where that definition came for you, because you're going to find a lot of your money mindset in that answer. And it's going to abbreviate in a lot of areas of your life because you said they are expensive. As to what? In comparison to what?
See, I think when you don't get the good help, that's expensive because we've missed out on opportunity. You know what I'm saying? You could have, I just, I
But
agree with
see,
you.
we gotta get to the root of why
Yeah,
why do we think it's expensive? Do we
I
think
think
it's
mistakes are
expensive?
expensive.
Do we think it's expensive because that's what our parents told us that was expensive?
Mhm.
Do we think it's expensive because that's what our friends told us that's what it cost them? Do we think it's expensive because of other things? Why do we think it's expensive? Because when you start learning where the definition came for you, you'll start getting to the root. Number one, you are learning these things from other people. So this is not your walking, breathing, living definition of experiences. The expensive. This is what you learned from somebody else. So you are living your life through the lens and the choices and decisions of someone else. So until you develop your own criteria and in turn, until you sit down and understand why you need this service and what you want to get from this service, it's not expensive. And this line of thinking is permeating in other areas of your life when you make financial choices and decisions. So you
Yeah.
need to develop your own criteria as to why you're making these choices and decisions. But when it comes to seeking out expert advice, not just in legal, develop a criteria of what your needs are. Engage a person based on that criteria. Does this person meet this need? Does this person answer this question? How does this person make me feel when I interact with them? Because my experience with person A may not be your experience with person A. And my experience with person B may not be your experience with person B. So you have to develop these criterias and questions to ask and experience. We live our life through the others because we don't want to experience it for ourselves. We think we're protecting ourselves from something because my mama, sister, cousin, brother said that that was their experience from this person.
Yeah.
But you could be blocking. We don't know what the baseline of why that person experienced with person A was the way it was. We don't
Mm.
know. We only know what they told us, but we don't know what they brought to person A. We don't know how they came to person A to got that response from person A, right? So
Mm.
when you say I'm looking for legal professionals, develop a criteria and understand what you are seeking in that moment because there are certain providers at every stage of the process. And you may not need the whole kit and caboodle based on where you are. And as you grow, you add on. I hope that answers your question. And I hope you understand that I'm coming from a place of love. But we often use these criterias and filters to gauge our decision making because someone else taught us that. And we love that person and we value that person. But that person's experience is that person's experience. That doesn't make it yours.
Yeah.
And Nequosha, I'm so glad you added that part about coming from a place of love because I know I get excited, y'all. Y'all know me. I'll be like a little puppy. I'm just because I know this is stuff that we need. But also, I think what came up for me was sometimes, and I struggle with this myself, which is, do I deserve that? Am I worth that kind of investment? Now, ask me about my children. There's nothing I won't do. Oh, ask me about my grandbaby. Oh, he could call me. What? Let me make this happen. But when it comes to us, I think so often Black women, we put ourselves on the back burner. We're the last to get, we get the least, the last. And so some of that is mindset that I have to work on. I struggle with too, but we are absolutely worth it. We are absolutely worth it. And I think everybody on this panel tonight has spoken to mindset. It's mindset. And are we worthy? And what is it? What do we deserve in this life? And so thank you for adding that you're coming from a place of love, because I think that I know I kind of pounced in there, but all of this is out of love, you all. It's because we want our community to grow. We want you to be successful. We want you to have access to the best of the best. And so please know that all of it is about love. I appreciate you all. We lost Terry. Terry is in Mexico. Trust me, y'all. I understand. I'm so surprised that we've been able to hold this whole stream for as long as we have. We've gone about an hour and a half now. I just wanted to make sure that we got through every question, that we at least gave everybody in the chat an opportunity. I see one other. There's a fear. Okay, we posted this one. Yep. We talked about that. The fear of doing something that you haven't done before. And that your mindset can evolve. So if we don't leave you all with anything other than that tonight, is that mindset is at the root of so many of these things that we're talking about. Having a mindset that it is important that you need to protect not just your intellectual property, but your online identity. You need to be prepping for the what ifs, because ultimately one day it will be that day. And we don't want to get caught. We don't want to be out here when we could have been proactive and we have access. We don't want to keep running up credit cards over and over again. All of that stuff speaks to a healthy mindset. And so I'm just going to scroll the chat. Anybody
I
want to,
saw
I
a
don't,
question. I saw a
yeah.
question. It was someone that was asking about VPN and what do you do when your VPN is slowing down your computer processing? And A lot of times it has to do with where you are connecting as far as your VPN. So there are different countries, different states. So there's different locations. And so sometimes you have to play around with your locations. You should be able, with your VPN application, be able to select and test out different. I've had to do that to change my locations. And sometimes that will definitely change and impact your speed, your processing.
And I know you would, I don't know, do you feel comfortable? I use a VPN. Does anybody have a company that they prefer or some that you would absolutely tell us to steer away from? Or is all VPNs better than no VPN? Well, I know everybody well, I know no VPN is not the way to go.
I love Nequosha.
Let me quiet down my face.
Please do not. That is why we are here. No, ma'am. That is why you are on this panel. We want all the sauce. We want it all. Bring all the heat. So
No.
definitely not having a VPN is not the way to go.
Yes.
So okay, you ladies don't feel comfortable saying one, two, or three, like one, two, or three kind that are out there.
Well, zero, of course, would be no VPN. Level
Right.
one would be the cheapest one you could find. Level two is you need to set a criteria on where their access points are coming from, because
Yes.
you could be connecting your device to something that's literally putting you out here exposed, Greg. You
Yes.
exposed.
That's
And then, of course, even if it is more expensive, that doesn't make it better. So, do some research on Nord. I've heard of ExpressVPN. Like I said, Dashlane comes with it depending on the account that you do. So, just don't go to level zero. Okay, just don't go to level zero. Just have something. Like I said, ExpressVPN is one that I recommend for a good entry point, and then you'll learn how it operates, and they are good entry level. I think that could be a good point. I'll put that in the chat, and then I'm sure my counterpart, my facial, we be talking. Uh, she probably has some other ones that she might want to add.
Because you should have seen your face. Your face, you will all you do.
I be
Remind me
talking
not
with
to
my
sit next to you in church or at a
Oh,
funeral.
listen,
I
don't
already
talk to
know.
me. Don't talk to me at church. Don't talk to me at a funeral. I'll never forget my little baby cousin. He got pinched so bad by my auntie. And
Oh
I
my
see I
God.
know how to turn it off and on real quick. He wasn't that skilled yet. But he got pinched so bad because this lady was all off key at Uncle Charles' funeral. Oh my God. Oh my Lord have mercy. I was over there making faces. He was making faces, but I quit when my auntie come. I looked like this. He was still laughing. See, I was trying to tell him to shut up, but
You done led the boy astray.
he had to learn. Everybody got to learn. He had to learn. Auntie Nora say that. Auntie Nora will pinch the shit out of you.
Everybody had one of those, girl. Everybody had one. If you went to Baptist church, baby, you know you got pinched. You got a peppermint for sure, and you got pinched for sure. You got
Butterscotch candy. Butterscotch candy. Okay.
one way or the other.
that's
Zakia, did you want to
hilarious.
add anything to that?
No, my sister, she topped it. I use Surfshark, but I mean, there are so many out there, and you do have to do your research. But one is better than none. Like,
Okay.
please do not be out here just hopping on Wi-Fi's. Please don't.
Without your VPN engaged.
Please.
All right,
Yes.
Terry, we so glad you came back. I thought we lost you, sister.
I don't know what happened. There was
We
all of a
wanted to
sudden
give
everybody
you
got still, but I still heard voices, and I was like, "Oh, it'll come back," and then no, it did not.
Hmm.
well, we just wrapped up. We were talking about making sure that you have some kind of internet protection, if you're out here surfing the web. Did you want to add anything in? Because I know we wanted to at least talk about before we close this conversation out how real estate got you to where you are and investing got you to where you are. Because my sister is out there, y'all, living it up in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. I think she shared with me that it was 86 balmy degrees. Y'all know I'm headed that way. If you haven't been, The sunsets in PV are legendary, legendary. Please put it on your list. So, sister, talk to us about your property and why did you pick PV? I mean, like, I know why you picked PV, but the people might not know why you picked PV. What's up with that?
Well, I didn't pick PV. PV picked me. My wife and I came to visit a friend and fell absolutely in love with it. It was a neighbor, good friend. He moved down here. Actually, he grew up in Mexico. He moved back here. We came to visit him, and I was like, this is it. I feel so good when I'm here. I was like, why do I only have to feel good on vacation? And I really started shifting everything, all of my choices, so that I could feel good more and more and more. So all my free time, any vacation time, I was down here just to get a fix, all up until we could actually make the move. I came down a year earlier than my wife because that's just the way it had to be. And the journey to do that was, I mean, it's still happening. It still is a construction project, but we expect to be online in this summer, and you'll be hearing more about that. Yes, and Shana came to visit and she got to see it. So thank you for that. So I know, Sandra, you are much better at taking pictures than I am. So
I'm on my way.
I can't wait to see your pictures of it. Because I can't get my camera to do what my eyes can see. But yeah,
I'm there.
The investing part of it was, in understanding my why. So I just want to be happy. So what is happiness? What can I do to spend more time doing the things that I like or that I love, and where I want to do those and who I want to do them with? And it really, this whole thing is a love story. It really started off with me. I need to eat, so I got to work, but work is getting in the way of me spending time with the person I want to spend the most time with. My wife, at that point, my girlfriend. I'm like, oh, we got to crack this code, because everybody's not at work all the time. How do they do this? And so the research began. And, at age 30, I really started getting it together. Started with a breakup. And, as you're examining one aspect of your life, sometimes it can bleed over and have you examining other parts of it. And being 30 years old and realizing, okay, it's now. It is now. I'm officially an adult. I am no longer, I can't say I'm a teenager. I can't say I'm in my 20s. I got nothing left but me showing up for myself. And what is that going to look like? And like, okay, I'm hearing about home ownership. I grew up in the projects. I don't know anything about that. So what does that take? So when I found out, well, you need a down payment. I'm like, well, I spent all my money on pizza, and now I'm paying interest on pizza. So I got a lot to do to have a real grown-up style life. Not even grown-up lifestyle, but style kind of like life. So from there, just learning about money. As I started paying down the debt, I took that time to learn about how money really works. So as I'm learning how to care for my money and learning about ways that I can invest it once I have that money, then that helped me to stay on track. That helped me stick to doing what I said I was going to do. And every, what I would call like a level up, like I got this card paid off, and now next one, it's like, I'm getting juiced. This is amazing. It felt almost like, I played basketball in high school. It felt like a sport. Like I'm just getting better and better at this. But realizing that I don't want to get good at paying off debt. I want to be good at understanding how money works. And this is the way it has to work right now. This is the phase. So what can I do to make sure when I get to the next phase and the next phase that I'm prepared? So I actually think it's really funny that it's March 17th. It is St. Patrick's Day, and I think luck favors the prepared. So we just happened to be prepared. We were not able to buy a house when we first wanted to. We were saving up a down payment, and then we're like, I think we might be ready. I don't know. Let's go talk to somebody. We didn't have enough money, not enough money at all. But we kept going on. We just kept at it, and then the market crashed, and then we were able to then buy. But we shifted as we learned more about how money works and saw was the world shifting. Everyone was losing the single family homes. I didn't want one of those. They had cooties or something. I don't know. So that actually shifted us into, well, not understanding that this so-called once in a lifetime thing with the economy, with the crash, like we don't know if it's going to happen again. And the people who were supposed to know about it, they didn't see it coming. So I can't trust anyone but the nest egg that I'm growing and protecting to protect me. And going from that and looking at Social Security as, I don't know, beer money, because it's not going to. I can't imagine it's really going to be able to pay any bill, especially at this current level of inflation. So from there, it was we bought a fourplex because I've been laid off several times, and can't lose everything trying to be safe. So we're playing defense, but how to play defense even better. And after 4 years living in it, fixing it up, we're like, okay, I think we're ready. We're ready for a single family home. And so we bought that as well. And now we own no real estate in the US. We're here. This is our home.
You're going to have to drop the deets on the 9-unit. I'm telling y'all, I already got my reservation. I don't know what to tell you, ladies. I'm already locked and loaded for sometime in June. I will be there. Shauna's been there and said how beautiful. I'm telling you all, if y'all haven't been to PV, Puerto Vallarta, we affectionately call it PV. Man, just fresh seafood. It's on the water. It's just gorgeous. The last time we were there, it was such a vibe. I'm telling you, it was such a vibe. And I'm not talking like over the top party, but just in the grownest, sexiest, coolest, laid back way. If you want to enjoy a beautiful Mexican beach, please don't miss PV. Put it on your list. What I love
and loving and kind and friendly. The people are great. I feel so safe. I walk around later than I probably should, meaning, and not because it's not safe to walk around, but because I should already be in bed. That's why.
But it is, I mean, in no place is like, safe where you're safe. But you're not necessarily worried about somebody bopping you over your head, trying to take your purse, gun violence, those kinds of things. Things happen everywhere. But I agree with you. It is a place where I can go and relax. I like to, I need at least 4 or 5 days in PV. I'm sorry, y'all. Some other places in Mexico I can run through. You can give me 3 days, I'm good. But I need 4 or 5 days there where I can just go chill and relax. And so we have the information. You've got Terry's information. All the ladies on the panel, all of their information is in the chat. Marilyn has been so vigilant about getting everybody's information in the chat. Everybody's information is down in the description box of the video as well. So I'm encouraging you, please reach out. There's a wealth of information. We could have probably done this all night, y'all, but y'all do know I got to go have breakfast, right? Excuse me. Excuse me. Y'all had a full day. I've been up since 6 a.m. prepping. I'm ready for some breakfast. I just got back home yesterday and I'm happy to be back. But when I tell y'all this was time well spent, it's time well spent when you look up and it's like, wait a minute, we've been here for a whole hour and 45 minutes. I'm sorry, what you say? This is supposed to be an hour. I'm sorry. But I appreciate the contribution that you ladies are making. There's a story. Every last one of these women, in my eyes, is just absolutely phenomenal. And what you all bring to the table is invaluable. I thank you all for sharing it with me, sharing it with our audience. Are there any closing words? I'll let you ladies close it out. I think I've said all I got to say. I got breakfast to get. But
Oh,
As a
breakfast,
kid,
but breakfast.
breakfast. Breakfast. You know ain't no tea in that, it's breakfast.
Yeah, breakfast. Exactly, Minnie.
Kia, will you go ahead and leave us with any closing words that you have for
Sure.
us?
Yes, I just want everybody to just be mindful. Please, please be mindful as you are navigating, whether it's online or just out here in these streets. Please, please do your due diligence. Don't hand your phone off to anybody, as Nequosha was talking about. Definitely make sure you get your VPN set up so you're not just hopping on free Wi Fi and exposing yourself, but also making sure that your systems are up to date, your software is up to date as well, and change those passwords.
Terry, any closing words from you, sister? How soon, Terry? Listen, how soon can we make reservations to get to you? That's all I really want to know.
So
How soon? When you
here's what's
open
going.
the door?
It literally is a construction zone right now, construction site, and I don't want to have people. It's better for us to be empty for a couple weeks, couple 3 weeks, than to make promises for people and then they get here and like I got to wear a hard hat to bed, right? So,
I'm coming
so,
anyway. You can't keep me
right.
away, but you will keep
So
us
listen,
posted. You'll keep
how
us
about this?
posted.
You invite me back when it's ready, and we can actually hopefully we'll be able to do a tour when you're here.
Girl, I'm ready, and I'll take the pictures. I promise you, I will, and I'll do you right. I'll do you right, sister.
Because
Because
I
I
will do
want
me
to
wrong.
come down and get some of that yum yum. I'm telling y'all, we had so much fun the last time we were there. I was like, Lord, I cannot wait. As soon as I get back on that side of the world, so you promised me, as soon as it's ready, you'll let us know.
Yes, yes,
All
but
right,
you'll be in. I got you set. I
you
for the
know I'm
last.
ready. That's okay. As soon as you're ready, ladies, y'all stay tuned. As soon as things are ready, I will be passing that information on to you. Terry, thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for the lovely invite too. Laquasha, take us home.
I'm happy to
With
do
all
so. I'll
and
be the caboose.
bring all the good. We don't want you
You know
holding
what?
back.
No, I promise you I ain't gonna hold nothing back. I just want to thank you all for the invitation. Thank you so much for my tardy to allowing me to be a little tardy to the party. The little people in my life, they are thankful for you. I am thankful for you. And thank you for this platform. Thank you for the opportunity in creating the platform. My sole purpose in life is to make sure you're not robbed of what's rightfully yours. My sole purpose is to make sure you're not robbed of what's rightfully yours. And the only way we can make sure that it's rightfully yours is if we declare it and we protect it. And one of the key things that I want us to do is also get exposed to other ways to make money, other ways to pay off debt, and maybe in a more rapid pace. And we're selling ourselves short when we don't think about licensing. So that's one of the key things I plan to dive so deep into on Thursday, March 21st. Thursday, March 21st. Thursday, March 21st. Yes, there's a replay. Yes, there's a replay. Yes, there's a replay. Yes, there is a replay. And a podcast, private podcast. If you, depending on the ticket you bring in, you can get access to the private podcast for additional content about licensing and the benefits of it. Yes, even if you are a service provider, you can take advantage of licensing. It is a game changer. These corporations are looking for people like you because they want their workers to be able to output more. Remember, we live in the land of consumerism. So if they can get people to produce more, that means people are able to buy more. And you sitting out here missing out on money. I'm talking $50,000 contracts, 40. What would $50,000 do? What if paying off $60,000 meant one sale? One.
You have given us something to think about, sister. Definitely. We've
You
got
want
your
to pay?
contact
I'm
information.
telling you, come join me on Thursday. Come get this information so you can change your life. Okay? Ain't nothing wrong with DoorDash. Ain't nothing wrong with the Airbnb. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But there are other ways we can get more money because the only way you're going to get out of debt is more money. Okay? Taking away them expenses is going to mess with your mindset. Taking away them expenses and taking away your life, it's going to, in the words, F-E double hockey sticks, it's going to mess with you and you ain't gonna be able to produce. So you need to learn how to earn more. You need to learn how to earn more. You want to get out of debt, you got to earn more. Let's just call a thing a thing. Okay?
Girl,
Let's just
sign
call a
me up for
thing a
that.
thing.
Jubilee. Sign me up. Sign me up.
Okay.
Sign me up. I'm all about work smarter, not harder.
And that's what
Period.
I'm trying to teach us, man. It's money to
Yes.
be had in these streets. We out here
Yes.
playing small, y'all.
Yes. And we don't know what we don't know. You got to get in the
And
mix.
you gotta get in, you gotta get at least a crack of these doors open to understand what is out here. If you using Canva, Canva is a great example of a licensing model. You don't own nothing in Canva. Anything you create, you don't own it. That's licensing. You paying a monthly or annual subscription to get access. Your cell phones, subscription. Apple, subscription. All of this is licensing, baby. All of this is, if you got a course, if you got a podcast, if you got a signature way of doing something you doing, there are corporations that want to buy from you. Stop playing small. Come join me on Thursday, March 21st. If you, I'm the only Nequosha in the world. Just Google. I'm the only one. I thank my mama daily. Thank you, mama.
We don't have to Google you. Shoot, Maryland is on the case.
Yes,
Everybody
come on,
contact
Paw Patrol.
information is
That's a
in the
licensing.
chat.
You see how I did
Oh
that?
no, no, no. We don't play about us. We don't play about
See,
us around
so
here. We love
I
you for
want
real.
y'all, I want you all, I just, listen, I just, listen, Maryland, the link is workshops dot my law firm's URL. It's workshops dot my law firm. So AndersonLawFL.com. Buy your ticket. I need to see y'all. If you can't even join because you're working, the replay is available. Get this content. Like, I'm out here. I'm trying to give y'all. Look, I didn't pay these people thousands of dollars to get this information. I'm trying to bring it home, but
See?
I don't know no other way to do it. Right?
But
I
girl, isn't
don't.
that what we do? As soon as we get something to question, we look, we trying to give it to you. We trying to share with another sister. They try to keep, they were gatekeeping. They're trying to keep us out. Here's a sister saying, listen, I got the goods. And we give it to each other. That's what I love about this community. When I tell y'all this
Listen,
tribe is lit, 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 it's because of that. It's because we are
it
willing
is
to share what we know.
$30,000 contracts, $60,000
Amen.
contracts, $100,000 contracts for you to just open your mouth and share. It is possible. It ain't, and you don't even have to be in the game that long. You just need to be your stuff just need to actually work. How many of us have been in those motivational conferences, leadership conferences, and that speaker took the stage and was born? That speaker took the stage and tell you nothing you ain't already knew. And guess what? That speaker got $50,000 to go speak for 40 minutes.
Ooh, that one gave me chills. Sign me up for the Christian Jubilee, ma'am. Sign me up. I'm on my way. We need to talk. We definitely gonna talk. We're gonna talk off air. I need all y'all to hang around. But on that, Tamika, I'm so glad you got back in here so we can give you an
Yay, Miss
opportunity to
$60,000.
girl, I thought we lost you. Take us home. That's it. I promise y'all. This is our last and final words. Sis. It's on you.
I'm so sorry. I'm be quiet.
Well, I would love to see you ladies come out. I'm going to have a financial workshop. It's going to be it's May the 8th or 9th. It's on Eventbrite. It's called Financial Wealth is Self-Care, and that's virtual, so everyone can tune in. However, in June 7th to the 10th, I am having a health and wealth self-care retreat in Scottsdale, Arizona. All your accommodations are included. Your food is included. You'll have a room to yourself. We'll be doing financial workshops, yoga, guided hikes, sipping and painting, journaling, sister circles, because all of this that we are talking about is trauma. I'll be teaching you about, your financial trauma. What's your financial story? What led you to this trauma, like we talked about earlier? What made you make those choices? And just, how you got into debt, it didn't happen overnight. You don't heal overnight from that. So I invite you to come out to this retreat and just be around other like-minded individuals so you can heal from some of that trauma. So you can find that information at my website, gutsyblackgirl.com, and sign up for my newsletter. I always send out little tips about self-care and financial education.
Girl, that sounds like a big old slumber party with education built in. You leave the slumber party better off than you came. Oh my goodness. But for me, that's exactly the time I'm gonna be in Mexico with Terry. Y'all got places to go. We got things to do, ladies. Somebody needs to be in Arizona. We need to go out and get this information. I cannot thank you all enough. When I tell you this has been a blast, I have had a good time. It sounds like
Mhm,
folks in the chat had a good time. It was good
mhm.
information and time well spent. Marilyn, I love you, my sister. Because when I tell y'all she's the glue, Marilyn is the glue. I don't leave not one live stream without bowing down and telling my sister she is the glue around here because there's no way I can focus and make sure that we get to everything we need to discuss and then make
Mhm.
sure that that housekeeping part is taken care of at the same time too. So ladies, once again, thank you all. I'm going to ask y'all just hang around for just a few seconds so we can wrap up. And I'm going to end this stream again. If this is your first time here, please like, subscribe, share the channel. It's an easy way to help a content creator grow. It's absolutely free, cost you nothing. We don't care what button you hit. Hit the thumb down button. We don't care. All of it is interaction and it lets the YouTube algorithm know that somebody is watching this content. And by doing so, it pushes this content out to more sisters so that we can reach more people and help more folks in our community. On that note, y'all, I am out of here. And I will see you all one day this week. I'm gonna be doing some live trading one day this week, and we got lots more to discuss. All right, y'all. Love y'all. Talk to y'all soon. Thank you, Marilyn. Bye, everybody.